Whisky, ¿eh? ¿Te acuerdas esa palabra?
I'm never going to jail. I'm going to tell you that straight up. Never going to get mixed up with anything. Because what I do is what I do. I invest. I stay on the outside, yeah?
Spill the tea. Isolated vibes. Buju, Banton. From Grammy winner to federal prison. The full story. Welcome back to Spill the Tea on Isolated Vibes. Today we're diving into one of the most controversial chapters in dancehall and reggae history. The federal drug case that sent Buju Banton to prison for nearly a decade. This is a story involving undercover informants, secret recordings, cocaine deals, courtroom drama, appeals, prison time, and even some recent controversy involving Wayne Wonder and his wife. How it all started. Back in 2009, federal authorities in the United States were investigating a confidential informant who had connections within the drug world. According to prosecutors, the informant was introduced to Buju Banton, and conversations began about large-scale cocaine transactions. Authorities claimed Buju presented himself as someone who could connect buyers and sellers. The informant was working with the DEA and secretly recorded conversations and meetings. This is where things became damaging for Buju's defense. Federal prosecutors presented audio and video recordings from meetings involving Buju and the informant. One of the most significant pieces of evidence was video footage from a warehouse in Florida, where Buju was seen examining and tasting what prosecutors identified as cocaine. Prosecutors argued that the recordings showed Buju discussing drug transactions and acting as a broker between parties interested in buying cocaine. The defense argued something very different. Buju's attorneys claimed he was simply talking big and showing off to the informant. Their position was that he never intended to participate in an actual cocaine deal and was merely boasting. However, the recordings ultimately became some of the strongest evidence presented by prosecutors. The informant. One of the most controversial aspects of the case was the government's confidential informant. Reports from the trial indicated that the informant received compensation for his cooperation and played a major role in arranging meetings and recording conversations. Supporters of Buju argued that he was entrapped. Federal prosecutors argued the exact opposite, that Buju willingly involved himself in the discussions and negotiations. The arrest. In December 2009, authorities arrested Buju Banton following the investigation. The case quickly became international news because Buju wasn't just another suspect. He was one of Jamaica's biggest musical stars and one of the most recognizable figures in reggae and dancehall worldwide. The trials. What many people don't remember is that there wasn't just one trial. The first trial ended with a deadlocked jury that could not reach a unanimous verdict. Federal prosecutors then retried the case. In 2011, the second jury convicted Buju on several charges, including conspiracy to possess cocaine with intent to distribute and using communications facilities to facilitate drug trafficking. He was also convicted on a firearms-related charge that was later overturned. One interesting detail is that Buju was not present at the final cocaine transaction that led to arrests. Prosecutors successfully argued that his role as a facilitator and intermediary was enough to support the conspiracy conviction. The sentence. Buju was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. For years, he maintained his innocence and pursued appeals challenging the conviction. Eventually, a firearms conviction was dismissed, reducing some of the legal burden he faced, but the core drug conspiracy conviction remained intact. Released from prison. After serving approximately 7 years in federal prison, Buju was released in December 2018 before being returned to Jamaica. His release sparked celebrations throughout Jamaica and among reggae fans worldwide. Many supporters viewed it as the return of a cultural icon. What has Buju been up to since prison? Buju wasted little time getting back to work. Shortly after his release, he launched the Long Walk to Freedom tour, which drew massive crowds and marked one of the biggest comeback moments in reggae history. Since then, he has released new music, returned to international touring, performed sold-out concerts across multiple countries, released the album Born for Greatness, returned to touring North America after years away. In 2026, he has continued releasing new material and remains one of the most talked about names in reggae and dancehall. Now let's get to the tea. In 2026, tension between Buju and Wayne Wonder erupted publicly after comments about loyalty and support during Buju's prison years. A statement posted on Wayne Wonder's Facebook page pushed back against Buju's narrative and claimed Wayne had supported him during his legal troubles, including visits and other assistance. The statement also raised questions about songwriting credits and royalties on several well-known songs. Then things got even messier. Wayne Wonder's wife entered the controversy and made several explosive allegations against Buju. Those allegations included accusations relating to his personal conduct and past criminal history. These were public allegations and have not been proven in court. The fallout became one of the biggest reggae stories of 2026, with legal threats reportedly being exchanged and fans taking sides online. Whether you believe Buju was unfairly targeted and trapped by a government informant, or properly convicted based on the evidence, one thing is undeniable. The case changed the course of his life and career. A Grammy-winning superstar went from topping charts to sitting in a federal prison cell. Yet after nearly a decade away, he managed one of the biggest comeback stories reggae has ever seen. But even after prison, controversy has never stayed too far away from the Gargamo. What do you think? Was Buju Banton a victim of entrapment, or did the recordings prove the government's case? And what are your thoughts on the fallout with Wayne Wonder and his wife? Drop your comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep it locked to Isolated Vibes for another edition of Spill the Tea.